Today's project is canning tomato juice using my Victoria strainer. Now, you're going to get some laughs out of it because this is not difficult to put together except for the spring. This spring is really stiff and hard to push in. So, I really had a little bit of struggle with it, and then my son got a hold of it and he put it together. But you'll see the proper order to put this strainer together. Let's see, I've already used it. Okay. Since I decided just to make tomato juice, I'm bringing this up to a boil. I've got citric acid here to put in the jars. I'm getting my jars hot. That's yesterday's project there. I've got lids and rings right there ready to go. I'm getting my jars hot. This is not going to make very many jars of tomato juice, but they'll be really good thrown into some chili or some soup, and it keeps me from wasting any of the tomatoes from the garden. Okay, I've brought my tomato juice up to a boil and turn it off. Since I'm using half-pint jars, I'm going to be using an 1/8 of a teaspoon of citric acid in each jar. You must add acid to tomatoes. I don't care if they're heirloom or what. Always add acid to tomatoes. Now, I'm going to ladle the tomato juice into the jar. Up to the 1/2-inch headspace. Wipe the rim. Clean lid. Clean ring. Remember, your lids do not have to be preheated. Now, that's all it needs. And I'll get my other jars filled as far as this tomato juice will go. Okay, I've got 4 half-pints of tomato juice from my homegrown tomatoes. Not a lot, but as I said, 1/8 teaspoon of citric acid in each one of these because they're half the size of a pint. And a pint would take 1/4 of a teaspoon. But these will process in my steam canner for exactly the same amount of time, which is 30 minutes. So let me get this lid up here. When it gets through venting out of here and the temperature is up into the dark green area, I will begin counting, and that will be 30 minutes of processing, just like for a pint. You do not, just because it's a smaller size, doesn't mean that you cut back on the time. So I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Okay, my tomatoes are done. They processed for the full 30 minutes. I let them sit in the canner after I turned off the heat for an extra 10 minutes so that everything calmed down. And there we are. 4 little pints of tomato juice would have been wasted tomatoes if I hadn't at least done something with them. Thanks for watching.